What's up, Dream Chasers? What's up, Wrench Gang? Kevin Van Voris checking in for another video for you guys today. So today, no, it is not clickbait. I'm not clickbaiting you. We do have some really big issues with the Charger. I'm a little nervous on what exactly is going to be going on with this. I just got the car back, and I think I've had it maybe 3 weeks. When was the flashlight shootout? A couple weeks ago. So what I'm gonna do today is kind of go over and explain to you guys kind of what is going on with this. If you guys were on the live chat, I think Sunday, some of you guys kind of already know. And then also I need to clean out the car because well, this is going back to Michigan. If you guys don't know, it was at Illinois Motorsports for roughly 6 months or so. I blew my motor in Houston in January. I ran a 9.4. My 60-foot was terrible. Like, the car hooked for once. I was like, oh shit, ran a 9.4. I turned around, was gonna do it another pass, and blew my motor after the 8th mile. So it sucks because if my car would have ran that pass, it would have been a low 9.3 or a high 9.2, like a 9.31 to a 9.29 probably, because my 60-foot was a 1.3 something. It was damn good. And so this car is extremely fast for what it is. It probably weighs more than 4,500 pounds. It's on air ride suspension. I love this car. It's amazing. No, it's not the fastest car out there. I'm not saying that by any means, but for what it is, there's not many four-door cars that can line up next to me and beat me in this car, and a lot of two-door cars can't either. So it was at Illinois Motorsports. They were R&Ding basically the new engine they were putting in. I've got custom pistons and rods in this car. It's got their stage 3 head porting. I bent a couple valves when the last time I blew the motor, so it has a couple new valves. But it's nothing crazy. It's a 401 stroker. It's not a 426. The reason we didn't want to go with a 426 is because it's really overkill depending on what you're trying to do. So we went with a 401, which I asked, like, in the future, I do want to turbocharge this car. I'd like to have one single fat ass turbo, like, coming out of the front grill, like somewhere right there, or maybe just cut out a notch. I don't know. That's down the road. Joseph Young is me doing my turbo kit maybe next summer. It depends on what's going to happen with this. So I was giving you guys a little background. It still has a stock supercharger with a 265 pulley. It doesn't even have like a smaller pulley. It's a 265, which is relatively big for what it is. I do want to run, if the car comes back, I do want to run like a 255 or a 257. So anyways, it's got a stock transmission. It's got the stock supercharger. It just is a 401 stroker now. It sounds pretty good. It doesn't have a crazy chop like a 426 does. It's got a little baby one. It is, don't worry about the laundry over there, or those nice, shout out to Skydrake Detailing. Look at those wheels. So when I got the car back, we did decide to use 100 shot of nitrous. I'll let you guys know what kit I have. This is a really nice, expensive kit that Livernois hooked me up with. But basically, there's a little nitrous thing in there, and then it has the touch screen, which turns on once you turn this on. This is a Pro Max controller from Nitrous Express. I believe, yeah, Nitrous Express. It's really good stuff. And then Livernois also has their own little computer that you can plug in. You can log in, change tunes, and do all that crazy stuff with. But let me show you, in case you guys are new to the channel, you don't know what the hell is going on, let me show you the engine setup real quick. If you've never seen it, I don't know. So I don't know who watches my videos and who doesn't. So this is a Nitrous Express direct port system. It's very expensive. I think the kit runs like, I don't know, probably $3,000 brand new, I think, with everything. Do get a Livernois catch can. There's a 265 pulley, which I like their pulleys because it looks stock. And then I have their cold air intake. Again, stock supercharger, stock transmission. To give you guys an update, basically my car was running beautifully. I will make a video on how much horsepower it made, but it made, for where I live at elevation, you know, 3,500 feet plus the DA is usually like today it's probably gonna be like 7,500. So probably on the day it was dynoed, it was probably somewhere around 65 to 7,000 feet, and the car was hot and it made really, really good power, and it was running really, really good. It's on like, I have 2 tunes, so right now I've just been running it on C85, which is VP's race E85. If you don't know what that is, basically it's the E85 is E85, but it's the 15%. So the 15% is actually race fuel, bumps up the octane. Anyways, it was running really good. So me and David, if you don't know my brother, he has a single turbo Mustang. It's really fucking fast. Probably the fastest car I've ever been inside. Actually, it is the fastest car I've ever been in. And so we're supposed to race. So me and David have raced without the nitrous. I'm not going to tell you who won because it doesn't fucking matter. But we're going to make a video on me and David racing, but I wanted to test the nitrous. I have never used nitrous before or anything like that. So I called Andy earlier in the week and I asked him, like, hey, how does this work? What do I need to do? And all this stuff. So I made a video about it, which it's like 28 minutes long. And anyways, I was freaking out. I was nervous. It's nitrous. One of you guys who watch my channel, Kevin Wynn in Colorado, actually blew his shit up because he didn't purge the system beforehand. So I was like, oh my God, I can't freak out. And I was freaking out. Hands are sweating everywhere. Anyways, so we go out, we run everything through, we switch the tunes, we purge it, everything's good to go. The bottle pressure is good. So what we do is we go on the freeway, do a 3rd gear pull, so obviously downshift, and then basically, so what I do is do the pull. Pressure is where it needs to be, purged it, everything is good to go, and it didn't feel right. As soon as I got on the gas, it just felt slow. And with the Pro Max controller, there's 2 things, like it's gas and nitrous. It turns green. It only turned green for but like a split second, then it turned off. The Pro Max controller will turn off your system if it feels you either lean or rich, which is really nice because you don't want to fuck your shit up. Didn't feel right. I'm like, well, let's do another hit. Did another hit. Nothing obviously happened. And we pull over. I'm like, well, we're like slowing down. Like, man, this car feels really shaky. And I'm going to show you why. So these are spark plugs from the cylinders on this side. This side is 1, 3, 5, 7, right? This is from cylinders 1, 3, 5, and 7. I don't know which is which. I know this is from number 1. And you see how there's no there's no porcelain in the middle, right? This one has porcelain. Missing a little bit, right? So these are the worst 4 plugs. The only good thing about Hemis is you have, I guess it's good and bad, you have 2 plugs, spark plugs per thing. So this is, where is it? So and then these are the other ones, right? So the other spark plugs that weren't like this, they had a lot of gas on them, but you can see these 2 are missing the porcelain insides. So basically what happens, from what I understand, is it basically got too hot and melted these. Now, the issue, and let me explain to you a couple things why it's going back to Michigan. Number 1, the Trackhawk should be on its way here in the next couple days. I should have it within the next week. So I called Dan. I said, Dan, I don't know what the fuck to do. He's like, well, can you do a leak down test? And I was like, to be honest, I don't trust anybody in Amarillo. This is not, I'm not hating on any shops in Amarillo. I just don't trust them as far as a Hemi is concerned. There's tons of LS's and all that other shit, Mustangs and shit. But as far as a Hemi is concerned, we have no Hemi shops out here, and I don't trust anybody to do that. So, luckily, the Trackhawk is going to be on its way back from Michigan in the next week, probably less. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to swap cars. This car is going to back to Michigan. I'm going to have the Trackhawk back, so we've got plenty of videos I can do with that. I've got a lot of stuff planned. I'm really excited about that. Dan is just a little nervous about this side of the engine. So I didn't throw any codes or anything on that side. Obviously I'm having multiple misfire code. Luckily I have HP tuners, which I recommend every person to have that, so that way you can look at it and at least tell you which cylinders are misfiring. So we ended up swapping out all the spark plugs to iridium, the same plugs. These are LFR7A, and I just swapped them with iridium because I heard those a little better when you're running nitrous. I put the normal tune back in, and it's still not running right. That means that something, most likely, it's one of two things. One, it's either in the tune, which I'm really fucking hoping, or two, it's mechanical, and it's gonna be on this fucking side. And worst case scenario, something happened with one of the pistons, with one of these. Piece of metal could have got stuck. It could be in the head, it could be a bent valve, a couple bent valves, who knows? I'm not really sure. There's no like holes in the blocks. That's good. I'm assuming it's probably somewhere in the head and the valves, which is not too bad of a fix. So it's not Livernois' fault, but what we need to do, and I haven't talked to Dan about it yet, but I'm sure he already knows, is we need to retune it here. There is such a big difference between Detroit, like Michigan, where they're at like 0 elevation or a couple of 100 feet above elevation, where we're at 3,500. The DA over there, the highest it gets is like 2,500. Here, the highest it gets is like 8,500. It's a really big difference. So basically, I think what's going to happen, and what I would like to happen, I was really pissed off. I was going to take the nitrous off, but I'm going to keep it on, because if you just with 100 shot with Hellcats, it's roughly 200 wheel horsepower. That's a lot. And I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to use it all the time, but I want to have it when I need it, you know what I mean? So at first I was like, fuck this, I'm going to rip this shit off. Like, I'm pissed off. I can't believe my engine is all fucked up now. But after calming down and relaxing a little bit, talking to Dan, talking to Andy, and talking to Kyle, who used to work there too, I'm going to keep the nitrous. But I want, basically what's going to happen is either Dan is going to fly down here, or we're going to remote tune it while it's down here. But first, it's going to go back to Michigan and get fucking fixed, because I'm not even going to turn it on. I haven't moved this since last Sunday, and I do not plan on moving it until Dave gets here with the Trackhawk, so that way we can replace this or figure out what's going on, get this retuned, and get this running to how it was. Because I'm telling you, on C85, this shit was running so smooth. I was daily driving it to work. I was having a good time. So we're going to kind of see what happens. I don't know. I'm just ready to get this thing going, and I might have, well, I don't know. I'll talk about that in a different video. That's a different thing. But I want this to be running like it should. I want to be able to use the nitrous, because having an extra 200 wheel horsepower when I want to have it, like say if I'm going to go race David, my brother, I'm going to need that 200 extra wheel horsepower if I'm going to beat him. You know what I mean? So what we're going to do is, once I get a phone call from Livernois and they let me know what's going on, I'm going to take these big ass wheels off and put the stock ones back on. I'm going to clean the car out, and that's basically it. But yes, it is going back to Michigan. There's nothing wrong with Livernois Motorsports. This is part of kind of just having a race car. Livernois already told me that they would take care of whatever they need to take care of, and that's the type of shop they are. Trust me, people I've known who've dealt with other shops have had less happen, and they're like, well, fuck it, you're on your own. Even when I blew my motor, Livernois was like, we're going to take care of you best we can. It was very expensive, which I knew. Obviously I had to buy a new motor and all this other stuff. For this, I shouldn't have to do anything. They're going to fix it for free, take care of it, make sure everything is good to go, and retune it, have a tune here, and then when I go to Houston, have another tune, and just have multiple tunes. That way my car is good to go and we don't have any more issues. Luckily, we were testing it and not actually racing. Otherwise, I would have been really fucking pissed. So hopefully it's a small thing, but Dan from Livernois is thinking it's probably something mechanical, and I'm just gonna tell Dan from Livernois, I can't have the car gone that long. I have to have it before October 5th. We're putting on another flashlight shootout race. We're giving away $16,750. We'll make a separate video on that. But that's the update for you guys. Thank you guys for who was wondering. But yes, the car is broken yet again. But Livernois is going to take care of it. I trust them 150,000%. So anyways, thank you guys for watching today's video. I'm going to get back to work. Hopefully you guys enjoy your weekend. My name is Kevin Van Voris. Make sure to follow me at KellyBoyKev on Instagram and on Snapchat. I'm out this bitch.